to be the Synod of the Christian Reformed Church. We can never get things right the first time. This is my third time being a poet. Once in Canada, once in Chicago, once in Canada, and once in Chicago. Are we good now? We're going to keep messing with this thing? All right. Too many sound men back there, I suspect. So I would like to read my poem called Pella Bologna. I was born right here in Pella in 1952. I was a little Dutch kid, so what I say is true. My life has been a slippery slope. Bad breaks, I sure have caught them. But as your Synod poet, I've clearly reached the bottom. We moved to Arizona when I was only 8. Though I'm a full-blood Dutchman, I may be reprobate. I've chosen to come home again to this place where I am known. I love the Gouda cheese here and Pella's fine bologna. When Wyatt Earp was just a kid, he lived right here in Pella. He's buried on Boot Hill. You'll catch up. He was a law-abiding fella. I also was a Pella boy, but wrong-headed as a mule. I tried to be a good boy, but I've broken every rule. You can see by my attire, I'm from the Arizona classes. I live out in the Wild West, bringing gospel to the masses. I moved to Tucson years ago when we paid our missionaries. Now they serve as our church planters, eating cactus, roots, and berries. 4 years ago at Synod, I was asked to be the poet, and then just 4 years later, there's this problem. Don't you know it? I might have done some damage as a Chicago resident, because as of this week, it seems the college lost its president. Steve Timmermans is called to lead us to do more than rearranging. Instead, he's called to execute what's called adaptive changing. Well, I'd like to say good luck with that. Getting Pella here to change? And reining in that cowboy on the Arizona range. On Sunday, when I worshiped in the church of my baptism, I went down to the basement and tried to foment schisms. I got some cake and coffee, and I looked down on the floor, and I mentioned that the tile had been there since 1894. Steve, you should keep Joel Boot around. I think you'd be astute. Then you can blame him for the bad stuff when you finally give the boot. See what I did there? closets where Borgdorf hid the bones. And find Vance Bronson's mother in that basement. 2 years ago, I took a trip to bless Canada with my rhymes, and suddenly their hockey teams experienced trying times.
Careful now.
Could you hockey fans enlighten me on these elemental things? Just where in Canada might I find the Rangers and the Kings? I'm just a reporter for the committee. When I first moved to Tucson, I was looking for some friends. I thought joining with the RCA might pay some dividends. I met up with their missions team. One thing I couldn't shake, the grandpas wouldn't sing the Psalms, so I burned them at the stake. RCA folks stole this college from the Baptists long ago. If you wonder why we're meeting here, I think that I might know. The RCA has all gone home to live in harmony. So let's steal this place while they are gone. Make it CRC! You might think that that's divisive and just a bit fragmental, but I see an opportunity right here at good old Central. Some say that we should love these folks and take a different tack. But I say grab the Flying Dutch and stretch him on a rack. If the RCA would thwart our coup, becoming tough contenders, it's good that in Sioux Center we have the Dort Defenders. Okay. I might be wrong. Forgive me, never mind. I'm sorry that I said those things. Let's go back to being kind. We work with Methodists and Baptists, but the ones we want to roast are the people closest to us, who we should love the most. So let this be a lesson to those who share my table. If we have a difference of opinion, you'll be like my brother, Abel. The folks who work on SPAT to stop the Exodus are kind of hard to understand. They're acrimonious. Get an easy rhyming, okay? Five streams all flow together into the BOT. That flow chart on page 380 is bound to set us free. If you're looking for a good time and would like to join a Bible study, just go looking for Canadians who are hanging with their buddies. It won't be hard to find them. They raise glasses to the crown. You won't have to walk too far, there's just one bar in town. I had lunch with two Koreans, Chris Cho and Ronald Chu, and Ron asked Chris, "Are you from Seoul?" As Koreans always do. Chris said he was an Incheon Cho. Then asked, "Well, how about you?" Ron said he moved from Busan back in 1982. On and on they chattered while I sat there in that section. They kept on saying names until they finally made connection. I find it so annoying. Since I hardly speak their lingo, but they must always play that game they call Korean bingo. My father was a Hugen. His cousin's name was Mel. He was a wise professor, so his name should ring a bell. My mother is a Banquet girl. Her first cousin's name is Andy. He taught young seminarians, so that makes it pretty dandy. I should have headed off to school and joined the seminary. I might have been a theologian instead of big and hairy. And I want to warn Dr. Timmerman about something causing tension. As a commissioned pastor, don't think you'll get a pension. The first clerk broke tradition, and that still has me sulking. He knew the sergeant-at-arms should be burly, big, and hulking. Instead, he picked his teacher, that tiny Diane plug. She tried to boss us all around. I could squash her like a bug. He knew that she was little, but thought she might be mean. He said she taught him Sunday school when she was just 13. I don't mean to disrespect her, as she carries round her scoop. But here in Pella, we use those to shovel out the snow. You just can't find a rhyme. Ron Neidham is retiring. I don't know him much at all. Papa said that Ron's amazing and that he had the wherewithal to teach his students empathy. Though he had those poor folks reeling, he made them give 3-minute hugs and get in touch with feelings. I got up from my airplane seat, much to my alarm. I ripped my jeans half off of me when I caught them on the arm. must retrieve your luggage while at the same time oversharing. You tell pastors when they are attacked to not say "see ya later." Instead, they should remember that it's just info, only data. The attendant had some safety pins, but I'll never be the same. Before you're off and leave your job, help me with my shame. When it comes to Karl Bosma, I don't wish to be untoward, but he was each year's recipient of the Killing Trees Award. He says he loves Brazilians, but he destroyed their forests by handing out more paper than Synod's ever put before us. So retirement looms before you, Dr. Bosman. Please decide. What will you do with all your time now that those trees have died? It's 9:30 Sunday morning, Karl. What are you going to do? Well, when you're not selling Logos to the Scythian, Greek, and Jew. You are both beloved professors, and despite my silly jests, we know that God will hold you. We long that you'll be blessed. Thank you for your service. You've run an awesome race. You're good and faithful servants. May God pour out his grace. It's true, I've not been sleeping well. On that bunk bed in the dorm. My legs are hanging off the end. This old body won't conform. I forgive the college for the mattress, since I've never been petite. But it'd sure be nice if they'd provide a proper fitted sheet. Central College has been gracious. It was fun that we could meet. These folks have been so helpful, their kindness can't be beat. I never studied Hebrew, I don't know a lick of Greek, but I know the humble followers of Jesus whom we seek. It's been good to be at Synod, to serve our mighty King, to gather all together, to listen, pray, and sing. It is grand to be forgiven. Have Jesus bear your sin, to know the tender grace of God. You can go home again.